So I have my first product that isn't a t-shirt. I have Hi, I'm Alex Anders, and this is the Bisexual Romance Author Vlog. So, first I'd like to mention that at the end of the video, I'm going to be putting the audiobook sample for Get Him to Fall in Love with You, which is a new edition of the book How to Win the Love Game. So, stay tuned for the end of the video for that. And in this video, I'm basically going to be giving you a bunch of updates on what's been going on. I told you guys that I would be not doing a video this week, and instead I would be doing a video on the Bisexual Real Talk channel. That's not going to happen. But it's actually kind of a nice thing why it's not going to happen. Okay, so first let's start with the quick stuff, which is turning my voice into a robot. I have not gotten much further on that. I know that this past week, my contact was in Germany. There was a big book fair in Germany, so she was there and she was going to be busy. So I wasn't really expecting to hear that much from her. I sent some questions over, basically asking. I was good with the narration, but I wanted to make sure that, just some stuff about me, misrepresentation. I wanted, you can audit once a year. Once a year they send you an invoice of everything that your voice has been used on. I wanted to be able to have access to that list more frequently, just in case of a misrepresentation sort of thing where someone uses my voice to make a podcast, they say something that I can't get behind. I just want something be able to go, hey, can you send me a list of everyone who's used my voice to prove that this wasn't me who said it? Also, I wanted some sort of moral standards clause put in there so that my voice wouldn't end up uttering hate speech or something with pedophilia. So basically those two things, hate speech and pedophilia. I just wanted to make sure, some sort of moral clause in there, included in the contract for that. And also, I wanted some information about the costs and the speed in which they do the audiobooks. It looks like it won't be a huge cost savings, but I'm hoping it might be a huge time saving, but we'll see. Meanwhile, I'm continuing to audiobooks. Update on that. So Bane, the one that I uploaded last Friday, they asked me to redo basically all of my files on Thursday, so that might slow down the process on that, but I'm still hoping that Bane will be in stores by the coming Friday, but we'll see. It's going to be the first book that I can actually look at. I can tell you the audiobook for Her Two Wishes is basically not dead, but it's near dead. The thing is, and I'm running advertisements for it on the podcast and stuff like that, but I think in all reality, I think I have to accept that you can't get people to get a book if not interested in it. So, one of the things I learned because of Aladdin's Jasmine was that readers of bisexual romance really aren't interested in anything other than certain types of stories, either contemporary or specifically things that follow the popular romance tropes. And Her Two Wishes is not contemporary, and it doesn't contain the most popular romance tropes. So because of that, no matter how much visibility I send to the book, it's just not going to sell. I think that's just I think that's realistic, right? That has to be realistic. So the audiobook has not outsold the ebook, but it has out-earned the ebook already. So I'll take that as a good sign and accept it as that. My ebook is back on Amazon for Her Two Wishes, and it's basically selling nothing. I don't think it's sold anything in over a week because it's not in the KDP program. So that's a problem. I'm thinking about dropping down the price to 99 cents to see whether it sells anything in that case. But it's a real problem that books don't sell at all if they're not a part of the KDP program. That's a problem. That's not good. That's not good at all. But yeah, so the audiobook has outsold the ebook. So there you go. That's somewhat proof. So hopefully when Bane is uploaded, Bane has sold a lot. It's shown to be a popular book. So hopefully it will generate real income. And I'm working on the audiobook Island Candy, which I'm kind of enjoying. It's my first lighthearted story I kind of enjoyed recording How to Win the Love Game, which is now Get Him to Fall in Love with You. I enjoyed it because it was kind of like a lighthearted thing. And this one I'm kind of enjoying because it is lighthearted. And also, one of the characters is Bahamian from the Bahamas. I'm from the Bahamas. But sadly, I've forgotten how to do a Bahamian accent, which seems crazy, but it isn't. I actually lost my Bahamian accent long, long time ago, 2 years after college, or into college, when I was 22. But I've forgotten how to do like a Bahamian accent 15 years ago. So instead, I decided to do a Jamaican accent. And it's been kind of fun trying to figure out the Jamaican accent because it's like I can do it. I just can't remember how to say all the words immediately. So sometimes I have to stop and practice, and it sounds Irish, and then so that whole process has been fun. So that's kind of a nice thing. So I think I have 2 more days of recording on that, and then after that, it's like 2 weeks of editing. And then we'll see how that did, because that book, of course, is my best-selling book of all time. So we'll see how that does in audiobook. That will be the true test. If that one doesn't sell well, then I need to change my plans, because nothing will sell well on audiobook. Unless it's just like some random book happens to pop up. Kind of like what happened before, because I have one book that did not sell very well at all on ebook, but I released the audiobook, and then ACX, the company I uploaded through, fiddled with the price, and now that little short 45-minute story has made thousands of dollars. Like, wow. And then I have 2 other stories that have made a couple thousand, or one other story that's made a couple $1,000s, and another one that's made and a couple that's made just over $1,000. And keep in mind, it took me it took half a day to record these stories, and like 2 days to edit them. So this is 3 days worth of work, and they make thousands of dollars. So that's a pretty good return on investment. So it might be that the more popular books sell more. That's not been the case my case in the past. It's just like kind of, yes, all of the books on average have sold more in audiobook than they have in ebook in terms of income. But the most popular books in ebook that I've had have not performed identically in audiobook, so that does give me some concern. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm still thinking very positively, and I think that audiobooks are my future still. Yeah. Now, the reason why I'm doing a video here is because I'm not doing a video this week on Bisexual Real Talk, and that's kind of like some good news as well. So I decided that I was going to do, I woke up this morning deciding that of what the topic was. And I can tell you the topic that I will be doing a video on is going to be about bisexual visibility. The first video, I'm going to do 2 videos in a row, 1 week following each one. The first one is going to be about the different levels of visibility. So like my 5 stages of bisexuality, I'm going to do maybe whatever the 6th level is, something like that. I haven't thought of what the details are yet, but it's going to be the types of visibility that you can do, and that will be one video. And the following week's video, and the reason why I'm doing the types of visibility you can do is so that the following week I can talk about how visible you should be as a bisexual, considering your circumstances and stuff like that. And it's hard to talk about how visible you should be if you haven't already talked about the types of visibility there are. Instead of making a video extremely long, I thought I'd break up into 2, so that the first one is about the levels of visibility that you can have, and then the second video is about which level you should be striving for, which level you should be at considering your circumstances. And I'll talk about my experiences wearing the bisexual t-shirts in the gym and just all that stuff. So those are the videos I will be doing next week. And the reason why I'm not doing this week is because I woke up this morning and I got some good news. I told you guys about the merch shelf that I got approved for, that I will be putting on Bisexual Real Talk. And I told you all about how in the approval process, all of my bisexual themed shirts were not approved, but my ace/asexual shirt was approved, and with exact same designs, which says that the word bisexual is what did it. And I told you that I contacted Teespring to find out what the deal was. They did not get back to me, but I got back to them again, and they told me that it was actually YouTube who was the problem. And I should have guessed. Should have guessed it was YouTube, because YouTube always, not always, but 80% of the time, somewhere between 60 and 80% of the time, when I upload a video with the word bisexual in it for Bisexual Real Talk, they will demonetize it, and I have to then request a review for them to look at it and go, oh, right, so this isn't about porn. In which case they will then monetize it. So it was YouTube, I guess what it was wasn't a manual review that they did. They did an algorithm review, and their algorithm is a bigot. It just is. Their algorithm that they do all the approval of is a bigot. It's prejudiced. It's prejudiced against bisexuals for sure, and I hear also against like gay, the word gay and the word lesbian and stuff like that, but absolutely for bisexual for sure. So that's what happened, and I contacted someone and said what the deal is here. Is there anything you can do to stop being prejudiced? And then that person went and uploaded took my concern to their higher ups, and their higher ups got back to him, and it got back to me this morning, and I woke up to the email saying that the shirts have been approved, and the problem was that with the videos, there's a manual review process. So there's a pipeline of something gets, knocked in terms of the word bisexual, and you can request a review, and then someone reviews it. But with the t-shirts, there is no such thing in the pipeline. So it just gets unapproved, and then nothing happens. So they said that they are working on the pipeline to put a human involved so that they can approve stuff. So that was good. Although I did try and upload some more shirts this morning, and this time it didn't even enter the review process. So I'm thinking what they maybe have done is just manually forced my shirts to become approved, but the system really isn't working yet. So yeah. So I was, kind of organizing my shelf. So now if you go to my Bisexual Real Talk channel, you will see the shirts I selected to be seen. Those are my most popular shirts. And, you could actually click across from there to Teespring and purchase the shirts. But here's some really exciting news on that. So you guys know about my clothing company. You guys know about it, I'm sure, if you followed me for a while. And how the investor pulled out and all that stuff, had the designs. And, well, it looks like I might have a chance to actually at least test some of the bisexual products that I was thinking about doing with the clothing company. Because Teespring offers more than just t-shirts that you can have designs put on. You can have multiple things. And I'm going to attempt to put my design on a couple of things and see what happens. And the first product I decided for was, even though you can't do flannels, so that's that. But even though for my clothing company, the previous one, Fluid Style, I was focusing on flannel shirts and flannel lounge pants, I said to my investor that we're going to start with the flannels, but I think really where ultimate success would be in undergarments, like underwear and socks. Because whereas only certain people enjoy flannel shirts, only certain people will wear it, everyone needs underwear and everyone needs socks. So it's something that's much more people can relate to. And one of the products that Teespring has is socks. So I didn't start work. I knew this for the past week or two. But since I was already working on the shirts this morning, I decided to check them out and see what the process is, what the template is, and I figured it out. So I have my first product that isn't a t-shirt. I have socks, and there are 3 socks that I'm starting out with, and here are 2 of them. So the bi-plaid socks are dress socks, and the striped socks are the crew socks, like the athletic socks. And I also have a pair of the plaids, the bi-plaids, and the crew socks as well. What do you think? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about these socks? I'm kind of excited about it because I actually like the dress socks, the bi-plaid socks. They're kind of cool. I kind of like them. And I know that the athletic socks sell well because when I was in San Diego Pride, I think it's now 3 years ago now, 3 Prides ago, I had a booth, and the booth next to me was a booth that sold LGBT socks. They sold the athletic crew socks with the stripes, which were the flag colors. And they were selling a ton of, rainbow flag and trans socks. A ton of them. But they didn't even have bisexual socks. So I said to them, you should have some bisexual socks. I don't know whether they did or didn't, but hey, now they exist and they're here. And you can click I put links in the description to the socks that you can go and check out. What do you think of them? So these are eventually going to be included on the merch shelf as well. But they're not being included right now because of, they're being forced through and I can't, they're not going through the normal process right now. But they're going to end up on the merch shelf on the Bisexual We Talk channel as well. But yeah, it's not just the socks. There are other products that I'm also going to be testing some designs on. I didn't even know, going back to the socks, I didn't even know how popular socks are right now. Themed socks. There's a company called Stance, and their entire company is just, well, now it's socks and underwear, but for a while they were just themed socks. Apparently it's a thing. And I'm kind of excited about it. This is the first one design. If they have any sort of traction at all, I'll be doing more designs with the socks. And I'll also be testing some of the other things. Like, what do you guys think about tights? Like women's tights? Like putting, maybe some sort of bi design on a tight. Would you buy tights if they're themed? I guess in terms of the price. But is that something that you guys might be kind of interested in? It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to find this out. So that's why, and also because I didn't do the video because, I was busy doing all that stuff. But also, if I'm talking about visibility, why not have the merch shelf there and prepared so that I can say, well, these are the levels of bisexual visibility. And if you want to be more visible, you can check out the t-shirts, or maybe the socks will be up by then. So that's why I'm not doing a video and why I'm doing a video here instead. That's it. So those are the updates that I have for you. It's kind of exciting, right? Things are finally progressing. And the only negative thing being that Her Two Wishes is not selling as much as I had hoped, even though it out-earned the ebook. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But that's it. If you want to stick around and listen to the 5-minute sample of Get Him to Fall in Love with You and Stay in Love, that's coming up right now. And otherwise, check out the links to the socks in the description below. And stay cooler, my bisexual and reader friends. Stay cooler. Bye.
The power of this book is that it puts your destiny in your own hands. You can use the knowledge gained within to understand why you might not have fallen in love with the guy who seemed perfect for you. Or you can use it to understand why the person you've fallen for hasn't fallen in love with you. Past that, you'll be able to use the information gained within to increase your likelihood of finding love. You'll be able to set up the best conditions for someone to fall in love with you, and you'll be able to move closer to a state of peace about not being in a relationship, although the world keeps telling you that you need to be in one. Choosing to not play is another way of winning the love game, because as you will learn, love is simply a series of chemical releases. Those releases aren't limited to romantic or sexual interactions, and knowing that is step 1 to getting the guy of your dreams to fall in love with you and stay in love with you. Chapter 1. Introduction. My biggest pet peeve whenever someone is describing how to play a new game is when they don't start off by stating the game's premise. For that reason, I won't assume that you have the same definitions of love that I do. So, in the following chapter, I will do what poets and philosophers have tried to do for thousands of years. I will define what love is, or at least what it will be for the context of this book. Chapter 2. What is love? When people hear the word love, they think of a number of different things. They might think of the feeling they have for a family member. They could think of the feeling they get when watching their favorite sports team. or they could think of the feeling they have for their romantic partner. All of those things are love, and they share the same mechanisms that define romantic love. But for the purpose of this book, we will define love as romantic love, and the feelings which define romantic love will be that overwhelming desire to be with a person we are romantically interested in, while simultaneously feeling that heartache which comes from being apart from them. For the purposes of this book, that will be what love is. As I've stated, all of the other forms of love include one of these two compulsive feelings. The love we have for a parent or a child usually involves that heartache we feel when we are away from them. The love we have for a sports team involves the compulsion to be around the thing that brings you pleasure. What I am describing as romantic love is more intense than either of these two experiences, however. That doesn't make any other form of love less valid or less important. It just makes it different. And if your current relationship doesn't include those two compulsive feelings, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your relationship. It just makes it outside of this book's definition of love. Also, keep in mind that nowhere in my definition have I mentioned sex or sexual desire. A desire for sex does not define romantic love. Sure, you might want your relationship to include sex, but this isn't a book about how to win the relationship game or the sex game. This book is strictly about how to win the love game, and you don't have to want to have sex with someone to become overwhelmed by your desire to be with them while feeling heartache when they are not around. Chapter 3. Love Chemicals.